Houston as we return here on Motor Madness. Looking forward to the action tonight here in the Astrodome. Of course, the story's been Grave Digger.
And look who's in the house.
Hey,
He's made it.
listen to the crowd. Let's go to Dan Moriarty.
Well, Dennis Anderson and Team Grave Digger have made it to the Astrodome. The question is now, are they 100%? Mike and Scott, take it away. This place is electric.
You really can feel it here. It is something. There's Dennis Anderson. He's got to be excited tonight.
Excited and exhausted. You know how hard they've crashed this week, and he's got the best to go up against. Dan Patrick with Samson coming into the house.
You got to make clean runs here. It's an extremely fast course.
Smoothly, and he goes on to the winner. All right, here's Samson. Dan Patrick at the controls. Dan, one of our favorite guys around here. What a great guy he is, just with everybody. And Samson's got a lot of power. And Little Tiger by Brian Barthel is the driver there. And you talk about an underdog. Little Tiger is definitely the underdog to Dan Patrick and Samson here.
You know, we've seen Little Tiger a couple times on Motor Madness, and he's been strong. He's been able to run with the big boys, but so far hasn't been able to break through with that, you know, kind of momentum-carrying monumental win. He'd love to knock Samson off here on national TV.
Really doesn't have the horsepower under the hood near what Dan Patrick has. And in the turn, Little Tiger making an effort, but Samson is just too strong flying over that last pack of cars, and it's Samson and Dan Patrick winning here.
That's what you call styling and profiling as you head on out of the arena. Let's look at Little Tiger, though, as Brian Barthel. He'll get up on the back wheels. This is where you don't want to be. You're losing power when you're only on two wheels. That cost him maybe just enough to lose the race. You see Patrick wins it by probably about 3 lengths and then gives that power wheelie right on out the door here at the Astrodome.
Drove right out of the arena. And here's another look at Samson and Dan Patrick. You know, we were talking earlier that Dan hasn't won one of these Motor Madness events. This might be the night here in Houston. Let's hear from Dan Patrick on his run.
You were moving out there. Well, there's only one way to win here, and that's go fast. And so there's 2 ways of screwing up here. Going too fast and dumping it, or missing a turn. So you got to make clean runs here. It's an extremely fast course. In the first round, you got to win the first round, or you don't have the option of a fast loser. So you lose the first round, you set for the night. So, I mean, you had to act the first round like it was the last round.
Something broke off on the truck there at the end of the run.
Again, Paul has that wing, and I think that helped hold him down when he got in trouble there. Dan, Patrick, and Samson now has to go up against Dave Pizzo and the Prowler, the winner into the semifinals, along with Monster Patrol.
All right, Dan Patrick with a lot under the hood. And as you can see, there's a lot of Samson fans who are here in the Astrodome tonight, ready to cheer him on. And he also has a go up against one of the Pizzos, Dave Pizzo and Prowler. And again, as I said, I like the way the Prowler really looks. It's got a great look to that truck. So does Samson.
It does.
Samson's got that. It looks like it's got a lot of muscle there.
And then inside the cockpit, Dave Pizzo still trying to kind of earn his way up the ladder. Dan Patrick, one of the best, and he's going to try and pull the upset right here. But Patrick is always double tough to beat. Let's see how Samson runs now.
All right, that is Samson down at the bottom of your screen. And whoa, there is trouble in the turn. Samson is going to win, but Pizzo just could not get his truck turned around.
Again, up on two wheels. We're seeing that a lot tonight as the momentum in the turns really carrying these guys into some precarious situations. Pizzo had to let off to get the truck to settle back down, and Dan Patrick was gone after that.
So Samson will advance on, and we'll take a look at it again, and you will see that Prowler coming down into the turn. He really just tried too hard to make that turn.
I think so, and he knows he's up against Dan Patrick. He knows he needs a perfect run to beat Samson, and not quite able to get it right there. And, you know, another great run for Dan. But let's get an ISO now with Prowler, as you'll see Dave Pizzo's problem in that turn. Right here.
Almost like he hammered into the throttle again a little bit too early.
Absolutely.
In that turn, and that's what caused the problem on Prowler. So the night is over for Prowler and Dave Pizzo. Samson will move on, and Dan Patrick, the veteran,
You know, he may be the most consistent truck we've seen here on Motor Madness. He's made it into several finals, but still looking for that first Motor Madness victory. Maybe he gets it here in Houston, but he has really found ways to win races, or if he loses, they'll be fast enough to get to the next round.
Oh, the crowd love him getting air, too. Monster Patrol is heading into the semifinals. Monster Patrol going up against Samson, but Monster Patrol been running strong. There's Samson, Dan Patrick at the controls.
Getting ready for the semifinal round action, and Paul Schaefer and Monster Patrol. It's really been tough here in Houston, but as we've seen, Samson has a way of getting into finals. He'd love to break through here in Houston, get a championship, but the first thing you've got to do is get to the finals. He'll have to beat Monster Patrol to do it.
There's Paul Schaefer. You notice that wing on the back, and you see some of the fans here getting fired up, and the muscle look of Dan Patrick and his truck as well. Both are ready to go. Semifinals. This is where they'll really be focused. Camera's going down now.
Can't afford to lose here either. No fast loser coming out. Oh, Monster Patrol really nose dove. It kind of stuck the nose, and now
And up on two wheels, that's going to kill him.
that's it.
It's going to be Samson who's going to win. Paul Schaefer got up on two wheels in the turn, and it was all she wrote from there.
Boy,
Tough
terrible
luck.
time. Terrible place for that to happen in the semifinal round. I'm sure Paul will tell you that's probably one of his worst drives of the year. Let's watch what happens to him. And I think where he really gets in trouble is right here, because now he's up on those front wheels. It kind of throws him out of kilter. Then he gets up on the side, and he's done.
Boy, what a disappointment. You know, you can almost sense his disappointment there. He's mad at that point. It's just a tough run for Paul Schaefer. And Dan Patrick and Samson, though, you give Dan Patrick some credit, but let's not count him out as one of the potential winners here. We've talked about him not winning on Motor Madness all season long. This might be the night for Dan Patrick and Samson. Very strong run to move to the final.
No doubt. He's Mr. Consistency, as we've been saying. And, you know, when you use the term not winning, it's the overall event. But in terms of race to race, he's winning a lot. PaceMotorsports.com, 10:30 p.m. Eastern every Saturday night.
There's Samson ready to go in the finals tonight. Can he finally do it on one of our Motor Madness Monster Jam shows? And look at Gravedigger. Man,
Incredible.
That doesn't look like Gravedigger.
You know, it's amazing. The USHRA officials have gone over to make sure the truck is safe. All the roll bars, everything is intact. All the cage is intact. It's just the sheet metal that has come away. But let's look at how Samson got here, Mike.
Well, first, he beat Little Tiger in round one. And then Samson had a pretty good matchup against Prowler.
Well, he's been consistent all night. We've been talking about him being Mr. Consistency. Again, he started with a big win, let's say 2 lengths over Little Tiger, and then Prowler came to the scene. And, you know, Dave Pizzo's been running well of late, but he didn't have enough for Samson. I guess the thing about Dan is he's got that big, powerful Keith Black Hemi engine. He gets off the line well, and he's done a really nice job of cornering tonight. That's going to be a key in this final because of the way Dennis Anderson gets through the turns.
Samson then goes up against Monster Patrol. I thought this was going to be a great showdown, and indeed it was. Monster Patrol was not able to pull it off, so Samson is in the finals. Dan Patrick has to be excited about being here. Dan Moriarty caught up with him.
You know, guys, everybody else has been beaten up out here. This is his problem. What are you doing right?
Don't say I'm doing anything right. I'll get jinxed the next round. It's just, these trucks take constant care. I mean, they're like a marriage. You got to work every day to make it work, you know. But sometimes that don't work.
Well, we know that. We don't go that far.
We're not getting down to that stuff, right?
No,
Get that
no.
road, yeah.
Kids like this show. But this track is just beating you guys up.
Well, I already lost lane choice next week because Dennis and I was clowning around a little bit. And I said, if I get your final round, I said, let's just flip for it now. Well, we flipped. I lost. And he kissed me, and I didn't like that at all, you know. But the left lane over there is tremendously rough. It is really rough. So, and that's the lane I'm in. And that's the breaks of the game. So he's going to run really hard.
Is there anything you can do in that left lane to take him out?
Beat him to the turn. If I can beat him to the turn, he's going to push hard. He may overcompensate and, you know, screw up there. If he gets up on 2 wheels, his truck, the rear end is an open rear end, like similar to like a street vehicle. I have a locker in the back. If I get up on 2 wheels, I still got a tire pulling. If he gets up on 2 wheels, he doesn't have anything pulling.
You notice in the semifinals, though, he's now riding a convertible.
Yeah.
He has panels falling off, things on the ground. You better watch out there.
I enjoyed that. That was pretty funny. At least it stopped my stuff. I mean, I've had in the past, I've had a front clip get loose and in between cars. I said, oh, hold on there, baby. Next thing I looks like a funny car flyover. It just flies up in the air, you know. But those things happen. I mean, it's been tough here for everybody tonight. I mean, a lot of breakage. I mean, we're getting into like the 6th week of competition, so it catches up.
Gravedigger has had a ride to the finals here. Started off against King Crunch. And that time Digger was in one piece.
You cannot say how amazing this performance is, and what a tribute not only to Dennis Anderson but his crew, that this truck was flipped and almost destroyed last week in New Orleans, and it has gone through first King Crunch, then the awesome Barefoot. He takes Barefoot out with a great run, and then as the body keeps breaking away, he keeps winning. It's amazing.
Well, he took out Barefoot, and Barefoot, we remember, won here in the Astrodome last time he was here. So that was a great run by Digger. And then in the semifinals, taking on Predator, and Digger got a great start here in that semifinal run and was able to make it. Well, Dennis Anderson and what looks like half of Gravedigger is ready to go. And Dan Moriarty standing by with him.
As far as the track's concerned, it's really beating you guys up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of rough. We got a bunch of mobiles to go over. Then once we duck into that turn, I kind of got up on the side there a little bit, and I panicked. When I got on the ground, I just closed it for everything it was worth to get across the finish line. I didn't have a clue the body was coming apart on it. I saw on the diamond vision the overhead. It looked pretty cool, really.
It was very cool. Now, Dan Patrick tells me that you guys flipped the coin already, and he really hates his lane.
He does. He's hating him. I tell you what, Dan's laying down some nice runs out there, and he knows I'm going to run hard, the hardest that I can every time I run. So, hey, I could mess it up. Dan could win. But, yeah, Dan doesn't like that lane over there. To be honest with you, I don't know about that lane. If I had to run it, I had no choice, but I won that coin toss. I was tickled to death. So maybe I can take the victory here tonight and hang on to my checkered flag.
Get back there and work on your Gravedigger body. Take him away.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
All right, so both drivers think that that right lane is going to be a big advantage. We'll see that in a moment. And we'll also have some freestyling. You'll love this. Hang with us on Motor Madness. The Monster Truck Finals here in the Astrodome. That is Gravedigger. Some of you, even diehard fans, may not recognize Gravedigger there. It's Samson and Dan Patrick set to do battle, but Dan is in that left lane. You heard him tell us how rough it is there. We're going to see if that is really a disadvantage or not.
It's going to come into play, no doubt about it. I mean, the lanes are definitely different. Definitely come into this race looking at Dan Patrick. Off his consistent runs, he's been smooth. Dennis is that spectacular type of driver. He's really flamboyant. He's really going to go for it, as both drivers discussed. They know Dennis is going to give it everything he's got, and I think Dan Patrick may have hit on something. His Gravedigger fans have never been able to see Dennis that well in the truck, but Dan Patrick hit on something. He said, you know, if I can get the lead in the straightaway and make Dennis push, he wants Dennis to see him out in front, hoping he'll overdo it.
Really, Dan feels that the only way he can win this is if Gravedigger makes some kind of mistake, which Dennis Anderson doesn't do very much. So we'll have to see if Anderson can maintain his focus here and really concentrate, especially as he gets down towards that turn, which is going to be absolutely critical, Scott.
You know, Dennis has never jumped into a race that he didn't go all out to win, but I have just watched him tonight, and I've got to believe that bringing the whole flag concept back in him once again, flying that flag that is going to now be significant of who wins a TNN Motor Madness event, has just got him to take it up another level, to raise the bar a little bit more. He's not going to give that flag up without a fight.
No, he's not. And you see the skull and crossbones. You also saw that checkered flag. That flag signifies that he has won the last one of these TV events here on TNN. And they're off. Here we go with the finals. Heading down towards the turn. Digger's got him in the turn. Gravedigger beat him to the turn. Can he hold on? Yes, he will. That rough left side track, just too much for Dan Patrick to overcome. And Gravedigger is our winner here in the Astrodome. Let's watch how rough it is on this left side.
See him bouncing around in the turn, and then it's just, at this point, he knows he's done, because as Dan made the turn and looked, Dennis was in front of him, and he knew he had to have the lead in the turn, as he told us before the race. Watching Dennis, he's just going all out, and he knows he's got him at this point. I mean, when he makes this turn, Anderson knows he's the winner.
It was a great job by Dennis Anderson, and look at the flash bulbs going off here in the Astrodome.
How about a little freestyle? We're going to both these guys get out on the track because the fans love it after the race to see the trucks just put on a show. And that's what we're doing right now. Gravedigger and Samson, two-man freestyle.
Well, one side of Gravedigger doesn't look too bad, but the other side, boy, that's, you can sure get a good shot of Dennis Anderson working the steering wheel inside the cockpit of that machine.
Nobody does freestyle like Anderson, as we saw last week, and we're seeing again tonight. And he is just, I mean, he has no fear. He'll go anywhere. He'll tear anything up in his path, and that's what the fans have come to really love as the checkered flag stays on the Gravedigger this time around. Wow, look at the air.
Digger really can get some air. Even when he has no sheet metal on his truck, he can really get up there. Freestyling with Digger. It's what they came to see here in the Houston Astrodome tonight.
How's that for sliding safely into second base? There he is. Dennis Anderson, the champion, as Houston stands in appreciation.
Our congratulations as well to Dennis Anderson. Great performance and certainly getting saluted by the crowd here. One more time, we take a look at Anderson after he took that turn and made it on to home for the win. Well, Dennis Anderson and Dan Moriarty have hooked up again. Let's go now down to Dan.
Dennis, what is it about you and the Gravedigger that keeps you performing at the top?
Hey, I don't know. It looks like, hey, we're running at the top tonight. Cosmetically, we won't shining too good out there, buddy, because their mess was falling apart. But, hey, I got to keep my flag on the back, get to carry it for one more weekend. And next weekend, I hope we can get this old girl back in shape. We beat it up hard the last couple of weeks. That flag is costing me right now.
Oh, quit lying, you liar. You jinxed me. It's his
Hey.
fault, right? Oh, yeah. When he flipped the coin, I lost. He come over and did his Gravedigger crap on my truck.
Hey, well, he's the one that flipped it around before we were supposed to go. And thank goodness he had the puke lane over there so I could hang on to my checkered flag. Dan's a good runner, got some real good equipment. Maybe one day I can drive his truck.
Oh, no. Now, next Wednesday, if you call 1-800-DIGGER, he'll come to your house and he'll crush cars, all right? You don't have to have your own cars. Just have your neighbors leave. He'll crush their cars. So it's a fun time for all. So remember, it's 1-800-DIGGER. Hey, guys, this is fun.